Okay, so welcome back, and in this video we're going to talk about dividing by powers of 10. So here are the rules, okay, so this is the steps, if you will, for dividing by powers of 10. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically treat division by powers of 10 and we're going to change it to dealing with multiplication, okay? So we're going to use the fact that we can divide by the reciprocal or multiply by the reciprocal, okay? So if we're dividing by powers of 10, we change the division to an equivalent multiplication problem by multiplying by the reciprocal of the denominator, or the divisor. Then we're going to use the rule for multiplying by powers of 10 that we talked about previously. Okay? So here's some examples. So let's say we have 3.14 divided by 10. Well, we can write this as 0.14 divided by 10, which is the same as 3.14 times 1/10. Right, so I'm just writing it differently, which is the same as 3.14 times 10 to the negative first power, right? And so remember, negative exponent, so power raised 10 raised to a negative exponent, we're going to move the decimal point to the left. And so this becomes 0.314, right? Now here, what do we have? We got 0.48 divided by 100, which again is the same as divided by 1 over 100, which is the same as multiplied by 10 to the negative 2. Right? And so again, this tells us that we're going to move the decimal point to the left 2 place values, and so this becomes 0.0048. Okay? Now, likewise, if we have 20.1 divided by 1,000, again, we can write this as the same as multiplying by 1 over 1,000, right? Which is the same as multiplying by 10 to the negative third power. So we write 20.1 times 10 to the negative third power. And again, so we're going to move the decimal point to the left 3 spots. So this is going to be 0.0201. And again, just notice that, hey, we're dividing by 10. We move the place value to the left 1 place value. We divide by 100, notice there are 2 zeros, so we're going to move the decimal point to the left 2 place values. And then 1,000 has 3 zeros. Raised to the negative 3, we're going to move the decimal point to the left 3 place values. Okay? Now let's look at D. D says we're going to divide by 10 to the second power. So this is 0.1. And so we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, right? Which means we're going to multiply by 1 over 10 squared, which again is 10 to the negative second. So we get 0.1 times 10 to the negative second And so we're moving to the left 2 place values. So again, should remember, again, this is a little bit of review because remember we divided by powers of 10, we moved the decimal point to the left. We multiply by powers of 10, we move the decimal points to the right. So again, now all we're doing is we're just equating with negative and positive exponents of 10, right? So this is going to equal 0.001. And finally, here we've got 2.5 divided by 10 squared. Again, we can write this as a multiplication. So this is going to be 2.5 times 10 to the negative 2. And so again, we're going to move it to the left, the decimal point to the left, 2 place values. So this is going to become 0.025. Okay? So again, I hope this starts to make sense. Practice this, but it's pretty straightforward. Either you're multiplying by powers of 10 or you're dividing by powers of 10. If you multiply by powers of 10, you're moving the decimal point to the right, that number of places, whatever the exponent. If you're dividing by powers of 10, you're moving the decimal point to the left, however many places values there are zeros, or you're looking at the negative exponent. Okay? So again, there's a direct relationship between dividing by powers of 10 and multiplying by powers of 10, and also multiplying when you have negative powers of 10 or positive powers of 10. Okay, see you next time.